Hi viewers, welcome back. My name is Adeola Fayehun, and we're still talking about elections in African countries, not just Nigeria. And right now we want to talk about the upcoming election in Burundi. Unfortunately, violence has erupted in the last few weeks. At least 6 people have been confirmed dead, and people are still on the street protesting, mainly because the present president has declared his intention to run for the 3rd term. However, the constitution only allows 2 terms. Now, to talk to us about what has been happening in Burundi today is Pascal Akimana, president of Engaging for Action in Burundi. That's a diaspora organization. He's also the founder of another foundation in Burundi. Pascal, welcome to SaharaTV.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. What is happening right now in Burundi? Can you update us on what the present situation is like?
Well, the current situation in Burundi is chaotic. As you recall, the ruling party has nominated the current president to go for the 3rd term, which violates the constitution and the Arusha Peace Accord, and that sparked the violence because many opposition parties and civil society organization members had warned earlier the president that if he dared to seek another 3rd term, which will be violating the constitution and the Arusha Accord, they will definitely demonstrate and go to march in the streets to show that they disagree with his position. So as soon as they announce his ambition to run, and then the people of Burundi, particularly the youth, they are in the streets because these are the people who are demanding to the president to respect the constitution. Right now, they feel that he had violated all the rights because, you know, once you violate the constitution and the Arusha Peace Accord, then you have done a kind of a coup to the institution. So right now they are in the streets. Unfortunately, there have been reports about many deaths, as you said, and the police is in dire situation, cannot control the demonstrators, and the army has been called in to support. And there's no sign that the demonstrators will be able to back down. They are saying on the ground that they are going to keep putting pressure to the president until he withdraw his ambition to run for the 3rd term, which is violating the Burundian constitution.
I see. So now people have been protesting for weeks. Has there been any sign of him changing his mind, or is he insisting on going on despite this protest?
Actually, before even the demonstrators went to the streets, they have been, Burundi had received a lot of international envoys to come to warn the president that he should respect the constitution, and currently the president does not show any sign of withdrawing. Actually, just yesterday, his spokesperson say that those demonstrators are just used by the few individuals, the opposition parties. The president will not be scared or withdraw because of their illegal demonstration. So the president really is standing on his ground, and then he's saying that he's going to do all he takes to stay on, and unfortunately he is risking a lot of civilians who are losing their lives, and many bloods are being shed on Burundi just for his ambition for the 3rd term.
So everybody knows that President Nkurunziza has been there now for 10 years. How would you describe his administration so far?
The more indicators have really shown that he has done some great in terms of reconciling the people since the Arusha Peace Accord. And the many institutions have been, like many institutions such as the army and the police, were integrated. The old army and the new fighters were coming from the bush as rebels were integrated in the army and in the police. So in terms of the ethnic problem, that was no longer an issue in Burundi. Actually, when you go on ground, it's not a deal. And they have actually, Burundians themselves have said that now they have seen the time of the Tutsi rule or leadership or government led by Tutsi, and now they have seen the government of Hutus. They have realized that it's not ethnic problem that kill, it's not ethnicity or such ethnic that kills, actually it's bad governance. So to the contrary, Nkurunziza have really had bad record in terms of good governance, in terms of human rights, in terms of the rule of law, in terms of the economic development, jobs. These young people who are demonstrating today in the street, they are asking for jobs. You can see more graduates from colleges who have been just there for 5-10 years without any hope. Those are the issues that actually are pushing the young people, even many Burundians, to say, hey, we cannot let you to go and violate the constitution and run for the third term for actually having failed to ensure that the rule of law and the jobs, the economic opportunities, development is guaranteed in Burundi. So, yeah, those are the...
You sort of answered my next question, but just for the sake of those who may not be familiar with Burundi, there has been a lot of tension between the Hutus and Tutsis. So you're saying that this president sort of brought like a stabilization, and as a matter of fact, you had a civil war that just ended in 2006. So, but now when he came in, he sort of bridged the gap. But I was gonna ask you in terms of providing basic amenities like, you know, electricity, water, you know, just basic things, employment. And I feel like you started on that a little bit, but what about other basic amenities? Has he been able to work on this in the last 10 years?
No, actually, in the international crisis group and the transparency group, which is the international NGOs that monitor the governance of different countries, have really shown that Burundi is really on the bottom in terms of the corruption. Is not the first country in East Africa, and since the President Nkurunziza has been in power, he has failed to even prosecute the people who have been accused of stealing government fortune and funds. And we have seen many crime going up. Just like recently, there have been even nuns from Italy who were just Catholic nuns who were killed, and then those who were named are just there. There's no will or there's no way of bringing them to justice. And we see not only impunity has gone up, and just the presence is there and he does nothing, and those who are accused, they're just in the country, and people are angry for the fact that he themselves, the president, took time to go in the bush to fight for the same democratic rights and same for he fought for the rule of law, and now he's in power, he's in charge to enforce that. He has failed to guarantee that Burundians can sleep without any fear of being attacked by the militia group called Imbonerakure, which is most of the young people belong to the group which called Imbonerakure is the ruling party youth wing, which is really conspiring with the police to go and then hunt down the opposition and the civil society organization members or whoever who doesn't really speak the language of the ruling party or the government.
Oh, wow. Okay, so I have just one more minute, and I have just like two more questions. First of all, the opposition is threatening to boycott the election now if Mr. President doesn't step down from his ambition to run for the third time. Do you see that as a solution to what's going on? And what can you tell us about the opposition candidate that a lot of people seem to prefer right now?
Right now, we cannot even say that there will be elections. I think the oppositions are right. Opposition members are right to say clearly that there's no elections. As we speak, the police itself, the army, have agreed and confessed that they have been weapons distributed to some youth wings the youth members belong to the ruling party. So Burundi and Bujumbura, many people have arms, have weapons, have guns, and have been terrorizing the voters. As we speak, many Burundians are fleeing to the neighboring countries like Rwanda and Tanzania. As we speak, many people are being killed for just speaking up their mind, expressing their political differences from those who belong to the ruling party. And as we speak, people are demonstrating on ground. So it's not an environment that you can have elections that are well prepared. Actually, even the local electoral commission have been accused of really being sympathetic to the ruling party and dismissing the opposition party's recommendations on how they can plan and prepare and organize a free and fair election. So indicators show that the electorate themselves are not willing, or they are not ready they are afraid to vote because of the security on ground that is
you
not
mean
guaranteed.
Insecurity?
Insecurity, I'm sorry.
And what can you tell us about, the opposition candidates?
Well, as we say, there were many coalitions. We have a coalition that comprised with FNL, Agatongwasa, with some members of Uprona Party, and we have other coalition that's comprised with Leonce Ngendakumana with Frodebu and other parties, and then there's another coalition that is comprised with Dr. Minani Jean, and we have the ruling party that is there. We see that at the end they were going to, I think, to agree on one candidate that was going to represent.
Okay, so maybe they would merge together like we did.
The coalition.
All right. So I'm just wondering, do you agree that this is actually not a Hutu-Tutsi issue? Basically, most people just want Mr. President to step down.
As we see, actually, there have been a crackdown on the media, and when one of the journalists who was investigating on the crimes was released, we saw over 1 million of people who went on the street to support and to show the support to the media, and we saw those people were there. They were Tutsis, Hutus, Twa, and then really in Burundi, you cannot say this person is Tutsi and Hutu. There's no indicators. There's nothing that shows that this person is different from me. Therefore, the difference shows that this is Hutu and Tutsi. So right now, those who are demonstrating, they are both Hutus, Tutsis, and who are all in the street. But the government has been trying to bring the ugly past that divided people to show that these are the Tutsis' problem. And therefore, Hutus have to be careful because Tutsis are coming back. And likely, even the majority of the opposition members are Hutus. So, and they are the ones who are in front. And then the president, who's a Hutu, is being challenged by Hutus who are in the opposition party. So there's no any argument there that shows that really these are the Tutsis who are against Hutus. All of the
Thank you very much for that. And just before I let you go, I've heard that the president's wife, the first lady, is a pastor, and that the president himself claims to be a born-again Christian. How do you take that with what's going on with them not wanting to step down?
It's actually something that many Burundians or many even Christian or people who say that they worship God, they don't understand, because the president himself claimed that he's been anointed by God to stay there forever. And others said, well, the same God can, give power and, can give ability to other people to take over. So the president organized the crusades, and then his wife has a church, is always singing, and many Burundians have really realized that actually is just a tool to manipulate the poor, illiterate Burundians, and then manipulate them so that they can run to the ideal of God while he's just championing his own agenda. Right now, Burundian people have discovered that it's not really true, because God says to people to respect the human rights, to love and protect, but he's doing the opposite from what the commandments or the God's will is. So as a leader, I will say that
people are not deceived. That's the
exactly.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Pascal. We so much appreciate you taking the time to speak to us today about what's happening in Burundi. And we hope that your family is safe back home.
Thank you so much for giving this time and pay attention to what is happening in Burundi.
All right, viewers, that has been Pascal Akimana, the president of Engaging for Action in Burundi, a diaspora organization here in the U.S., and he just gave us some updates about what's happening in Burundi. Stay tuned, we have much more to come.